I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we're going to explore beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. This is our first time in Nebraska, kind of setting out to explore. And as you can see, we've got some pretty amazing things to bring to you.
Yes, we do.
So come along.
Thanks.
We're going to start at the former site of Fort Omaha. And when you pull into the campus, you'll see this marker for the history of Fort Omaha. And there are a few of the original brick buildings left. Some of them are more modern, but it's really a beautiful campus, all on the site of the former Fort Omaha.
And they were utilizing all the buildings.
Absolutely, including this one, General Cook House Museum. And General Cook was the one in charge of the fort. This is an original building, and he was known, amongst other things, for his gardens. And there are extensive gardens all the way around the house. And in fact, on the other side of the house, he still sits amongst his garden.
How nice.
Now, next up, the birthplace of Malcolm X. It was voting day when we were in Omaha, so this was being used as a polling place. We couldn't shoot anything inside, but just behind the building, you'll see this marker that tells about his father, the pastor, and his life up until he was killed in 1965. And this is all right down behind that house that you see along the road there. Now, a little bit grander fashion is the Joslyn Castle and Gardens. The Joslyns owned the major newspaper in Omaha back in the late 1800s. And as a lot of newspaper tycoons of the day did, they amassed a good bit of wealth. You can tell by the size of the castle.
People love to read.
That's right. The building's on the National Register of Historic Places. They do offer tours. Again, it was being used as a polling place, but they did allow us to come in and at least show you the grand staircase inside. And you can tour the property. It is also used as an event venue. So you can have a wedding there in the gardens and the reception at the house. It's quite magnificent. There's also a conservatory there on the back. And they do have they've added an elevator there for handicapped accessibility. The garden grounds are beautiful. They were working there planting while we were there. This is actually the carriage house that sits around kind of off to the side and behind it.
It's quite grand as well.
It is. And beautiful gardens. Now, we wanted to bring you this. This is St. Cecilia's Cathedral. This is about 2 blocks away from the Joslyn Castle. And it is, we've been told, one of the 10 largest cathedrals in the United States.
It was beautiful.
Very, very pretty. They were having mass going on while we were there, so we weren't able to go inside. But very, very grand. You kind of get an idea of the grandeur that was Omaha back in its early days. Speaking of early days, my early days at this point, I grew up watching Wild Kingdom. Mutual of Omaha's
Yep.
Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins.
Didn't we all?
And this is actually the world headquarters for Mutual of Omaha. And so we wanted to include that because that's one thing I knew was in Omaha.
That's right.
You'll see that dome out in front. That's a glass dome that goes down to what looks like a conference area when you look through the glass. With the lighting the way it was, I couldn't get a shot through the glass of it though. Now we're going to go on down towards the old downtown, and we're going to come to the Orpheum Theater. Again, this is in the Orpheum Tower building, which you can see is a pretty nice sized building there. And again, shooting through glass just doesn't work, but inside the locked doors were all of the ornate gilded things that you'd expect in an old theater like that. Now, the historic part of the downtown is called the Old Market. It's that orange section there. And the Old Market is full of amazing old buildings. Some of them, like the Woolworth building, is not Woolworth's anymore, but it still has the signage on it.
I love the way the signage was on a lot of them.
A lot of them still have the old original painting still on the buildings. And there is a huge push for bringing people downtown. There's a lot of loft space, apartments that are going in. The retail was very active. This was a little place called Overland that was all Western wear.
Oh, you walked in. If you love the smell of leather, oh my goodness. It was so nice.
And then they had all the hides there as well. Hats, boots, clothing, you name it. And the police officers downtown are on horseback.
And I love the brick streets.
Yeah, this whole area is all brick streets. I like this. This was the Havana Garage, and it's even got a garage door on it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Little library there.
Yep, a little bit more than a library there. Mr. Toad was a gentleman's pub. And any historic downtown worth its salt has to have a Christmas store, right?
Absolutely.
Appropriately named Tannenbaum. And you know the things that caught our eyes. The dogs.
The motorhomes.
And the musical instruments.
That's right.
And they had a great selection. Now this building here on the corner, you can see its old lettering there across the top. But more important to what it is today, it's lunch.
That's right.
So we went to Spaghetti Works, and Spaghetti Works has something we hadn't seen in a long time. They have a salad bar.
It was wonderful.
It really was. And that's their salad bar. It's in the bed of an old antique truck. They actually have two of those in the dining room.
And everything was so fresh.
Everything was good. It was comparably very inexpensive, especially for the amount of food we had. You had that Cherry Kiss Italian soda.
That was yummy.
And we made our very different salads, but that's the beauty of it.
That's right.
We both had eggplant parmesan, really good garlic toast. Highly recommend. This was really a nice meal.
It was very good.
Now, just off of the old market downtown is the Riverfront, and the Jean Leahy Mall is the green space that you see there on the map. And it's a beautiful park.
You could tell the weather was warmed up. There were a lot of people out.
Yeah, everybody was enjoying the day, that's for sure. That's their little amphitheater that's set up at the end of the green space. Looking off to the other direction, you'll see the reflection pool. And their green space has sculptures throughout. I like the hammocks there. That's something you don't normally find. But they have sculptures throughout the area. It's very relaxing, very peaceful, and it's kept up very nice. Hi, I'm Bob. It's the Bob Kerry Pedestrian Bridge. This is an amazing bridge. It's a pedestrian bridge that goes across the Missouri River. And you can see there it's curved. It's not just a straight point A to point B bridge.
Quite impressive.
Very impressive. And You can see beautiful views of the city skyline there along the river. That's me walking, that's not the bridge shaking, don't be alarmed. But you'll also see a spur coming off of it there that's going to go over to the Charles Schwab Stadium. Now we made a stop at Lauritzen Gardens. We have Maggie with us. We weren't able to go in. They do a pet-friendly Monday evening every second Monday. This was not Monday evening.
I think this was Tuesday.
Yes,
It was
we
the very
just
next
missed it.
day.
But we were able to look at the outside grounds, which are beautiful, and I can imagine how nice they are inside. But it wasn't a wasted trip. We did get to see the beautiful gardens outside, and in a shared parking lot on the opposite side is Kenefick Park. And Kenyific Park is named after one of the most influential men in the railroad industry. And this has been set up in his honor. As you go up the ramp there, you'll see those train wheels. This also shows you the Transcontinental Railroad to the highest point and where it ended in Omaha, Nebraska. That made Omaha a big deal very early on.
That's right.
In settling this part of the country. Now, as you go up there, you'll start to see different things about the Omaha area and how the rail lines influence that. All right there in the wall.
It was very interesting.
But at the very top of this, you're going to see two of the largest locomotives that were ever used on the Union Pacific. That one, the diesel locomotive, is the Centennial. And they did make several of these Centennials. I believe that one was over 1 million miles of usage. And that's Big Boy. He's a steam train. We'll tell you more about him in just a moment. But the Centennial was one of their largest, if not the largest, of their diesels.
And you can walk all the way around them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're both massive. But this park looks right out over the interstate, and they're all lighted at night. I'll bet that's really neat to be driving up through there. There's how progress changes appearance. Big Boy was over 800,000 miles logged in its service. And we're going to walk down alongside this. I don't know if you can fully grasp how huge this is. That's why I wanted to make sure we had Cathy in that shot. But look at the size of the wheels on them. They're probably 6 foot tall with the big brakes caliper on them. It's just mind-boggling to me that the weight, the engineering that went into these at the time they were built.
Mm-hmm.
And there's steam. There's a lot of pressure in those, and the size of the tanks and everything on them. And all the rest of this is coal tender just to keep it going.
Quite amazing.
And absolutely huge. Now they are on display. There's no charge to go up, take a look at them. This one, again, with the glare on the glass, we couldn't get a whole lot of the inside, but had a couple of fairly comfortable looking seats in there. Lots of room, that's for sure. Now when you think of Omaha, you got to think of Omaha Steaks.
That's right.
And they do have processing and packing plants throughout the city, but they do have retail stores. You can go in and pick them up and take them home.
That was so nice.
We want to wrap things up with the Gerald Ford Birthsite and Gardens. This was actually done on the site of the house he was born at. And in front and center, it has a great little tribute there to Gerald Ford. And it also lists all of the presidents in order. One thing I found interesting, also has their state. There was quite a few Buckeyes in there. That's a little replica of the house that sat here where he was born. Well, Cathy, what did you think about our time in Omaha, Nebraska?
I was surprised. This is awesome.
There is so many different things here. There's whatever your interest is, there's definitely something you'll find in Omaha.
There is.
It's really been a great day. We've really enjoyed exploring. If you've enjoyed it, leave us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And at the end of the video, look for the button up in this corner. Tap that, ring the notification bell, and you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.